Páníme na to, to tvrdé hrozne rozbaliť. Je 18.36, 23.12.2023. Začneme túto drťanicu. Tabak. Páníme na...
Fallout 76 just got some very interesting news in the form of the first clue for future content and confirmation that in 2024 the game is getting a map expansion. A single image posted on social channels teases
Dneska sú zýbožrty, takže ideme na to. 5 rundičiek zýbožrtov. Rýchla
to
runda.
come. And in today's video we're breaking down the little we can glean from this and going over some old teasers which seem to line up with what we're actually seeing. Let's dive straight in. Starting with what we know for sure, an official word from art director John Rush. War never changes, but that sure doesn't stop Appalachia from mutating. Later in 2024, we're expanding our map southward, deep into the wooded heartland of Shenandoah. This uncharted, once tranquil expanse in the heart of Virginia will bring a new questline, factions, and rewards. It sounds incredibly promising from that alone, as the map expansion was very high up on players' wish list for future Fallout 76 content. Time for some theories now though. The image is entitled Storm, and that is clearly the focus of this image and where we are going to begin. What is this storm, and is there anything currently in-game or that's been recently released that could be linked to it? Just going off the name alone, a datum identity called the Stormlord had previously appeared, and so far has seemed unattached to any upcoming content. There are no suggestions currently it will feature in Atlantic City, but perhaps this is where we'll be seeing the Stormlord make its debut. Another Fallout location, of course, is very heavily linked to adverse weather conditions, that being the true purpose of the Atlas Observatory. The atmospheric terraforming laser accelerator system was originally designed for weather modification and was successful on a small scale pre-war, creating snowstorms in mid-August, but it was ultimately shut down during development. Perhaps Atlas could be responsible for this, the column of red electrical lighting, the direct result of the laser accelerator system in full flow, causing the apocalyptic surroundings we see. A side note, but could this also be how Fallout 76 is all wrapped up in a neat bow with regards to the lore of the other games? Are we actually seeing this game's end game, potentially? The Lovecraftian entities of Fallout 76 and the two rival factions of cultists have been hinted at being embroiled in a much larger conflict than we've seen so far in game. Stephen Scarberry, our very own Mothman camp follower, has alluded to a crusade of light being fought between his faction, the hostile followers of the Red-Eyed Mothman, and the enlightened followers of the Purple-Eyed Wise Mothman. The latter faction hail from a location they called the Lantern, and the inference so far has been that this location was outside of West Virginia and potentially south of the existing map, where this will actually be, but close enough that a return on foot was possible. It's also worth noting that the recent cultist expansion in the southern area of the map also suggested that this was where they were travelling from. Also, the recent addition Lane, who you can find at the Gilman Lumber Mill, mentions in a daily quest tube that the cultist encroachments must be tempered, and the direction they're stemming from is the south. A final word on the cultists as well is we also have Lucky Hole Mine, which is also located in the southern area of the map, and was where the Enlightened were actually sheltered before the schism, separating the cult into two different factions. Could we finally be seeing the Interloper do something other than sleeping? I really hope so. Is this central building we're seeing the Lantern though? On first viewing I thought this could be a church of some kind, but on close inspection this seems to be a Fallout version of the Big Meadows Lodge found in the real Shenandoah National Park. The shape definitely looks very similar to me, and the blasted trees which surround the location on this image definitely line up with this location in real life, which is very heavily forested. Definitely let me know what you think though. I would love to see some theories about what this central building could be. And on that note, let's take a much closer look at the points of interest we can see in this image, as I have no doubt these will be the important locations we can visit. Starting on the far left, we can see the door of Vault 63 embedded in the hillside. As we know in the lore, vault doors aren't the easiest thing to pry open, so the fact we see this one blown off the hinges, surrounded by the Scarlet Fire, suggests something pretty apocalyptic is afoot. This could also just be a visual cue, but Vault 63 could be involved in some way. We can of course find Vault 63 currently in game, its entrance located in a small cave, concealed by a one-room shack. Originally it was planned on being a Vault raid location, but this was cut before ever making it into the game. In that raid, the missions were going to be Reactor Meltdown, Fire Outbreak, and Riot, and they were all centered around saving it from catastrophic failure. Nearby we can also see a relay tower, and it could just be one of the southern edge relay towers we can actually find currently in game. Perhaps even the tower near Johnson's Acre, which is also another cultist holdout by the way. And in the background we can see what is most likely the Shenandoah River. On the opposite side we can see a Shenandoah National Park sign, which points us in the direction of this apocalyptic scene. And these national parks have actually been teased before. In Once in a Blue Moon we met Vinny Costa and the Costa Business Dailies. On his terminal he had a section entitled Trade Routes, and the southern routes mentioned scenic routes to the national park south of Appalachia, at one time having the infrastructure the Blue Ridge Caravan needed to use them, but people just kept disappearing. One thing does actually stick out to me though, and this could end up being way off, but on the same terminal there was also mention of the Western routes, which talked about a blocked bridge and the clowns at their endless Halloween party blocking the route entirely. And this is still most likely a reference to Point Pleasant and the cultists there, although we do see a blocked bridge in this image located just here. Other points of interest we can see are a wasteland settlement located here. This definitely looks like most of the raider or wasteland outpost we're used to, and there's also a large scout tower on the top right of the image. And in the background what appears to be a factory. It has a passing resemblance of the Corvega assembly plant from Fallout 4, but from this image alone it's definitely too difficult to tell. But what do you think we're getting next year? Will we be seeing completely new factions, the Mothman cultists expanded upon, perhaps even an Eldritch Horror expansion, or even the ridiculously advanced technology in Fort Atlas actually doing something? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Very excited about this news and can't wait to learn more next year. If you enjoyed this particular video, please consider subscribing to help the channel grow. We post a variety of Fallout 76 content. Turning on the bell icon is definitely the best way to stay up to date. With that said though, I'm off. Thank you for watching and we'll see you in the next one.
Co to dělám? Ještě je minut? Jsem mal končiť pomalu. Dá si kúpiť BN za 70, to je solidné. To je tiež solidné, to z tých 70. Tak keď sa zohnal, ešte je zohnaný. Ešte je hýbaný. A ešte 92, 95. Môžem dať ešte jednu rezistenciu. Ako chceš. Za 20. Za tiež je suffix. No toto musím kúpiť. Tuto za 75 musím kúpiť. The big boy. Tuto potrebujem. Táto nás dá na úplne inú úroveň. Možno zdá ešte jednu rezistenciu. Tuto potrebujem mať. Potom je za 75, tieto rukavice za 40. Nice. Toto brnenie. Takže brnenie potom za 70, helmu za 75 a rukavice za 40. Sme tučení. Znovu sme naspäť, tučení. Tá helma. Budem ešte tučnejší ako prvýkrát, keď som začal. Potom zohnať tieto veci. Brnenie za 70, toto 3245, regenerácia 172, dexterity 54, nechce to 197, chce to iba 170 dexterity, či bol masívny kľúč. Tým pádom by som ušetril body na to, na dexterity. Tuto helmu za 75, jednoznačne. Jednoznačne. No. Otvoril som nás na možnosti, tentokrát budeme tučnejšie ako minule. Determináciu používať nebudem. Budem používať iba Barkskina s disciplínou. To je v pohode. Barkskin úplne stačí. Ako neviem, tá doma nie je povedzme až taká, lebo teraz nemusím ísť tam dole, jak kretenofil, 1 000 000 bodov. Teraz sa zoberú len efektívne body, ktoré sú po ruke. A nie miliarda sračiek. Konečne budem môcť znova robiť neidentifikované žlté mapy bez toho, by som pozeral, že polka života mi zmizla. Tieto rukavice, keby som zohnal, všetci sú offline týchto OTB, no. Ale dobre. Toto brnenie, ak sa zloženie, točíme tabak. Ušetríme strašne, ako damage over time, chlapci, srdče si ho dojte. No. Damage over time, moja neexistujúca mechanika. Damage over time. Môžete zabudnúť. Takže ja tu mám ten, ktorý som dropol, ten není zlý. Jedenáct Cold Lightning, nemá síce oheň. Má freeze a freeze the ratio. A potom tu mám tieto, ktoré tu ostali. Evasion, Energy Shield, Cold, Cold Lightning. Damage penetrates 1% elemental resistances. Potom tu mám sila, inteligencia, štít a oheň. Tento je úplne kľúčový. Takisto evasion rating, štít, šanca, že spôsobuje bleeding, šanca, že hindernu. Cold Lightning, mám to jedno. To zase je najväčšie hovno. Koľko to má to? To je tá 86. Toto je tá 86. No. Okay, znaš. Čo mi stojí na... Čo mi to polezlo? Lightning. Fire. Организация. Chaos, avoid bleeding. Bleeding nemusím avoidovať. Fire maximum. Čo je iné? Toto zaujíma, že budú iné. Iné, kam. Live leech physical. Teraz mi dávate tie, ktoré sú mi totálne hovno. To sú sukety. Sila, áno, chaos rezistencia. Návitoky. Má to síce zlé roly tam. Spodný má iba 6% a návitoky. To si to môžem nechať. No. Tieto dva nie sú dobré. A tento je dobrý. A nakoniec som ísť klasiku. Plán je ísť klasiku. Dobre, poďme to doraziť. Dám ešte, aj keď som tu už asi dorazil, dám ešte. je to za nami. Tretí relaxačný tréningový deň za nami. Bol 23.12.2023, skončili sme 18.57, segment trval 21 minút a 31 sekúnd.